All right, this shit has to stop, all right? So all these little groups here are all these local government and sustainability, right? This is what they do. That behind the scenes, they're using the local government, which isn't recognised in our federal constitution, right? They're using that third tier of government to bypass government oversight, parliamentary voting, constitutional referendum, right? They're doing that and they're coming in the back door. That's how the UN is accessing us, right? Through all these sorts of things here, influencing the CEOs and the councils at a local level. They take all of our high-ranking people, in these CEO type roles for the councils and that sort of stuff, and they pull them all into these world congress places where they teach them sustainable development models for 15-minute climate change agendas, teaching them biodiversity. Yeah. Right, this is all of the stuff that we should be making these decisions in our own country, or at least understand why we're paying our taxpayer money is sending these people over there for the circular economy course, for the locally led climate adaptation. Right, so this is what they do. Oceania collaborated with church parishes populating the island and climate change threats for greenhouse gas reduction. It's always in the background, but everybody doesn't take much notice of it because it's not coming through our elected officials, if you believe they're elected anymore. They use this sort of stuff to come in the back door and talk to our councils and go back up the chain of command, not down the chain of command from us to the Constitution, to the federal government, to the state government, to the council. If the council even existed, but it doesn't, because we had three referendums to say that we weren't going to recognise its existence, and it sits unlawfully inside of the state legislation. The money that comes out of our pockets and goes to these grants for global disaster preparedness. Remember that term that I talk about? The World Health Organization's pandemic preparedness plan, $5 billion a year to get prepared for a pandemic. These are another way that they funnel the money from our rates through the ABNs of the trading councils, while secretly shifting away from our constitution, right, into their maritime law. This is what they're doing. They're creating a completely parallel mirror version of our true constitution, right? So we can barely see it, but then they funnel the money out through their international ties. This is the same thing, right? UNDRR, same sort of wording, same sort of programs, coming in through sustainable development. Sendai framework, all the same shit. Yep. All that disaster risk reduction for the Sendai framework, all the United Nations. And how do they do it? They come in through that third tier of government. That is how they're operating in our country without our permission. But then you go back and have a look at the UniDroit. Officially, the International Institute for the Unification of Private Law is an intergovernmental organisation. Intergovernmental organisation headquartered in Rome. And Australia joined in 1973. Same time the Lima Declaration, where we started to sell everything off, including all of our manufacturing. But I can tell you now, if it starts with UN, understand that it is a takeover of our country. So I warn you, 5 years to go for the 2030 agenda. Get involved and have a look at all the ways that they are infiltrating your country through your council. Get to your councillors, get to the CEOs, find out where their alliances are, find out what they're working on, and particularly around the disaster risk reduction plans. Yeah, get involved in that, because that is where they're going to get you out of your house should you be anywhere near, a smart city location, a lithium mine, or just too expensive for you to be near somewhere that could burn down, somewhere that might have a cyclone, somewhere that might have a flood, somewhere that might have some sort of climate change related activity, which is everywhere in this country. You are going to get moved under that Sendai framework. And the people that are doing it tell you how they're doing it. That is the UN symbol. It is wrapped with the laurel wreath, the Roman laurel wreath, which is the symbol of victory, and achievement and honour. They're telling you what they need to know with 33 parts in that. And what does the 33 stand for? Well, I'll leave you that one to Google yourself.